Hey everyone, welcome. My name is Caleb. This video is an introduction to the AWS CLI and AWS in general. If you are new, this is pretty much a tool that will allow you to work with Amazon Web Services from the terminal. This is also a handy prerequisite if you plan on doing some coding to work with various services on Amazon. Well, this will get your access keys on your local machine, so getting started coding will be a breeze, and we'll probably be doing some of that in the upcoming episodes, which is why I wanted to get this video out as essentially a prerequisite that you can watch if you want to start doing some development. You can look forward to some Python videos interacting with AWS, but this is where we start. So let's get started by first checking out AWS. So you can go to aws.com and that'll bring you to the AWS website to where you can sign in. Now when you go to sign in, you're given the option of signing in as a root user or an IAM user. An IAM user is the end goal, basically a user with limited permissions. The root user is pretty much free to do whatever they want, so we don't want to do that all of the time. Now, when you're new to this, you'll need to create an account, which will be the root user. So if that's the case, create a new AWS account. I already have one, so I'm going to log in. So when you enter AWS, again, I'm signed in as the root user. You can go ahead and search for IAM, and this will bring us to the page allowing us to create various accounts with different permissions. Now when I go to this page, you'll see I get a warning that says deactivate or delete access keys for root user. Essentially, through the CLI, you can do things as the root user, but that's not always recommended, obviously, because then you have free access and that could be a security issue. So instead, we're going to create another account underneath of our root access user. We'll go into users, add users, and we'll just give this a cool name like Caleb. Now here where it says select AWS access type, if you want them to have access to the AWS website and be able to do stuff there, then you can give them a password. And we will also say access key, which will allow them to create a secret key to use for the CLI. We can just set a password now since this is going to be for us. And I'm going to uncheck this user must create a new password. All right, let's go to the permissions and we can create a permission group. And for this one, we're just going to give administrator access, which is kind of dumb because we're not using the root user. We just create a new account and then give them full access. But you can go through here and select exactly what this person needs to do. And it can be something that you can do as you go. You know, if you run into a permission issue, you just go enable that inside of AWS. That way, that account has only the bare minimum required for whatever application to work. Anyways, for us, we're going to go with administrator access, and we'll just call this group admin. All right, there we go. And we'll go to next, next. And there we go. We have the username Caleb, and this is an admin. Great user. Now to start using this user account, you can go into the username here and then security credentials, and there's going to be a URL that can be used to sign in to the same webpage, the console, as this new user account. So this is the URL you could give to somebody if you created an account for them, or for us, we can just use it ourselves. Now you can see there is the account ID. And now we have pretty much the same access as we did originally. So again, back to my point, you can restrict access on this account, but for this video, we're just keeping admin privileges essentially. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go up to the top. On this drop down, go into security credentials. Go ahead and select create access key. Your new access key is now available. Now you get an access key ID and a secret access key. This is obviously secret. I'm going to show it for this video, but then I'm going to delete it. But it's going to look like this, and you can download that as a CSV file. This is the only time you'll be able to see this and download it, so make sure you have it. Next up, we're going to get the AWS CLI. So just go to aws.amazon/CLI, getting started. We're going to install/update. And I'm running Mac OS, however, you can follow whatever operating system you're on. And here is the command to install it. So we'll run these one at a time by opening up the terminal. So the first one here, we'll paste that. And I'm going to get the second one ready. And paste that. All right, the install was successful. At this point, you should be able to type AWS. And something happens, which means it's installed. There you go. So we're going to clear the screen, and what you want to do now is say AWS configure. It's It's going to ask for your access key ID. Again, this is the information given here. So we'll copy that ID, paste it here. Secret key, copy that here, paste. Default region name, that is the region for your resources. So you can go here and pick one of these, such as US East 1 for Virginia. So I'll just go with that, US East 1. Default output format, we'll say JSON. And that is how you set up the AWS CLI. So that's all I really wanted to talk about in this video, how to get the CLI downloaded and installed. But I haven't really talked about any commands yet. We'll probably do a follow-up video, but there are a few things I wanted to leave you with, and that is how to get help. So for example, you can say AWS list services, and this is going to show you all the different things you can work with, which honestly is extremely overwhelming. But let's just take it one thing at a time. From here, you can say AWS, and then pick some service you want to work with, such as SMS, and then say help. And that's going to open up a help menu to work with this through the CLI. So there's a lot of stuff, and this is definitely something that can require a lot of time and research. The main reason I ended up installing the CLI is because I was working with AWS and Python, and when we issued the AWS configure command, it got everything we need installed on a local machine to work with AWS in Python. Stay tuned for upcoming videos to work with the AWS CLI. There's one more thing I wanted to talk about before we go, and that is how to disable your security credentials. You know, since I posted mine out here on YouTube, I should probably restrict that. So what we can do is go back into AWS, and from here we can go back to my security credentials, and from here you can make it inactive if you just want to pause it, or you can delete it altogether. So we'll go ahead and delete this. So we'll deactivate first, and then you'll have to put the access key ID there. So I'm just going to copy and paste. Paste that there. Delete. That's how you get rid of it. I have another one here I created as I was making this video, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. Deactivate. And delete. Now, if you want to get started working with various services in AWS through Python, you will look for Boto, a Python interface to Amazon Web Services. They, of course, support many other languages as well. That's just what I've been working with for stuff on this channel. If you are interested in more Python videos, more Amazon videos, be sure to subscribe. I also have a Python bootcamp, which will basically give you everything you need to know, from complete beginner to having the most important information down in Python. If that's something you're interested in, I will leave a comment that will be pinned, as well as leave a link in the description. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the upcoming videos, and peace out.